It's day 4 of the government shutdown and work stoppage for 800,000 federal employees. And lawmakers appear no closer tonight to ending the federal budget stalemate, with no negotiations scheduled and the looming threat of a possible U.S. default no less than 2 weeks away now. And that is unless Congress raises the nation's borrowing limit by October 17. John Harwood joins us now from Washington with the latest efforts to reopen the government and the war of words ringing out from the White House to the Capitol and beyond. John, no sign of progress, no?
There's no sign of progress, Bill. At this point, both sides are watching for the reaction of their own members and also those members' constituents back home. You had the president coming out and saying, yes, I will negotiate, but only after the government's reopened and Republicans agreed to join Democrats in raising the debt limit to expand the nation's borrowing authority. Speaker Boehner came out and made the statement that you alluded to, and he's sort of tried to strike both notes about the debt limit, saying, yes, we can't default, but yes, we need concessions on spending and deficit reduction in order to do that. The challenge is the Speaker's been very late to making that demand. Republicans have spent a lot of time on Obamacare demands. Now they're moving to the budget. That's a more promising zone, but it's late in the game.
You know, John, you know Washington inside and out. You know the rhetoric between both sides and both parties. You interviewed President Obama this week. What's your take? What are you sensing about how much longer this is going to go on?
Susie, I think it's going to go all the way up till mid-October. The Treasury says it'll be October 17th when we hit the debt limit. I wouldn't expect it to be resolved much more than midnight on the 16th. And, you know, there are various scenarios being discussed. There's no negotiation process, but I talked to a Republican member of Congress yesterday who was speculating that, well, if we just agree on a process of budget negotiations to occur after the debt limit is raised, that might be something that we can consider a victory. And on the debt limit, there's some talk of potentially suspending enforcement of the debt limit rather than raising it. That's what Republicans did earlier this year, and we've been operating on that basis all year.
There was a time when shutting the government down would be unthinkable. Yes, it's happened twice in the last 20 years, but now we're talking very complacently about the fact that the federal government is shut down and could be for another 2 weeks. Does this become the norm in future budget negotiations?
Well, it won't be if President Obama prevails. That's his point. That's what he told me on Wednesday, is the fever that he wants to break in this standoff. He does not want to set any sort of precedent that this becomes routine. And if he can make Republicans break, he'll go a long way toward accomplishing that.
All right. Thanks a lot. John Harwood reporting from Washington.